Hello, Kevin Frankish. We are at Spa Medica this morning, and we are spending the morning with Dr. Stephen Mulholland. And when we come back, we are going to be melting fat. No joke, melting. It's going to melt away when we come back to Spa Medica.
Jennifer's out of the live. Hi, Jen.
Hey, Kev. Good morning. We are at Spa Medica this morning. I'm here with Dr. Stephen Mulholland, and I promoted that we were going to melt away fat, and that's what we're doing.
We are indeed, Jennifer. What you're looking at right now is called Ultrashape, and it is a painless ultrasonic fat melter. And as you can see, our client, our patient, is lying here. She has no discomfort at all. You're looking at a handpiece which delivers two ultrasound waves, and it focuses on the fat cell. Almost like melting kidney stones, we can melt fat cells now.
Wow, this is such a great alternative to surgery.
Well, it's nice. You lie on the bed, you come in on average 3 times, and we can melt on average about 3 centimeters of your fat painlessly. Each treatment takes about half an hour to do. There's absolutely no anesthesia required. And you lie, and the technician, you see Bella, our Ultrashape technician, is pointing at little circles, and when she hits the circle, it's almost like a video game. The ultrasound releases the energy and implodes the fat cell.
It's almost, yeah, it's a fat finder. It finds the cell, and then you blast it.
Exactly. And that's the secret. We blasted. That fat cell dies. It doesn't come back. So it's like non-surgical liposuction. Okay,
now I noticed, of course, we're working on Diane's stomach.
Yes.
But in the tummy area, lots of women, lower tummy problems. Lots of women have problems in other areas, though. Like I always say, oh, my arms. I'm always covering my arms because I have big arms.
Most common 4 areas for women would be the pot, you're right, the tummy.
Yes.
Hips, outer thighs, inner thighs, arms, and that annoying bra roll at the back, that roll that hangs over the bra line.
So annoying.
Those are probably the 4 or 5 most common areas for our Ultrashape treatment.
Okay, so how many treatments am I going to have to get on this?
On average, 3 treatments for 3 centimeters.
And how much roughly is it going to cost me? How much could it cost me?
It depends on the clinic, but on average, you're looking at about $1,000 a treatment, somewhere between $750 and $1,200 a treatment, depending on the clinic.
Now, would some people, would this not benefit them, and they might have to go the surgical route? They might have to go liposuction, even tummy tuck?
The most important factor is realistic expectations. 3 to 4 centimeters is nice, but it's still the gold standard would be liposuction, either with a laser or ultrasound. So if your goals are modest, a 3 centimeter reduction with no pain or discomfort or downtime, this is the treatment for you. If you have really loose skin, in addition to fat, then you may need to have a little bit of skin removed.
Of course, and the loose skin comes from gaining weight.
Gaining weight, losing weight, or multiple pregnancies often, or hereditary laxity of your skin.
Okay. Well, Diane's getting this done. I need to talk to Diane. I want to know, what does this feel like?
Just a warmth on your tummy.
Just a warmth. And this is the first time you've had this done?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
We also have everybody's favorite doctor, Dr. Stephen Mulholland, cosmetic surgeon to the stars. Yes, we are. We got him too. And Dr. Stephen's going to talk about fat cells and getting rid of them. And I say, here to getting rid of fat cells. I'm okay with that. And it's non-invasive, so we like that a lot. Hey, welcome back, everybody. Before I throw to tape, please welcome Dr. Stephen Mulholland.
Thank you.
Nice to see you. We've got good stuff to talk about right now. We're going to see in action. Dr. Mulholland has a new product called Ultralipo Light, and it's a non-invasive way of melting fat. Take a look at this. You're going to like this.
Betty, Dr. Mulholland is ready to see you now.
So, Betty, to summarize, your biggest concern is this extra amount of fat that you have in the pot, in the tummy, and around the hips. And you're interested in the best result you can get without surgery.
That's right.
And my recommendation, if we're not interested in the various forms of liposuction, would be something we call Ultralipo. It's a series of about 4 to 5 treatments, and generally we see about 4 centimeters at the end of those treatments. The treatments don't require any anesthesia, there's nothing invasive, and generally you can put your clothes on right after the treatment and go back to activities.
I've been trying to lose weight that I've gained since my 2 children. I have tried exercise, dieting, and I'm here for what I hope will be a really effective, non-invasive treatment to finally get rid of that pot belly.
So Betty, if we look at the image to before and after, and this is the estimate of what we should be able to achieve, it's really quite noticeable. There is the pot before, the lower tummy, and much flatter and less of a pot after. What you're going to see with Betty is very, very common. A young lady who has dieted and exercised as much as she can, but she has these little localized areas where there's just too much fat. And so we're going to talk about a treatment, a very high-tech, cutting-edge treatment for melting little areas of bulges of excess fat and loose skin. And so we can't focally diet. You can't say, okay, I'm just going to lose calories on my tummy or my hips and my thighs. And the problem is if a woman diets or a man diets, you tend to lose it where you don't want it, off the chest, off the face, you look gaunt, and you still have that darn little pot. So we're going to do a focal treatment, non-invasive, non-surgical, called ultralipolite.
Are you comfortable, Betty?
It's fine. Absolutely painless.
The Ultralight program is very simple. It uses two types of cutting-edge technologies, the Ultrashape and the VeloShape. The Ultrashape focuses ultrasound beams, painless ultrasound beams at the fat, vibrates the fat, and melts it. The VeloShape shoots heat, focuses heat at the fat cell. Again, nothing, no downtime with the skin, and melts the fat. The two work beautifully together to give us about 4 centimeters, so almost 2 inches on any area that you find you can't lose through diet or exercise. No diet, no exercise, and you don't need to drink 2 gallons of water every day.
Wow. That's amazing. So, all right, let's talk about who this is for.
Well, at this time of the year, almost everybody, we're after the Christmas season.
Yeah.
And the number one resolution is weight or shape management in North America.
Okay.
And people are afraid of surgery. I mean,
Yeah.
the people are afraid of surgery. There's anesthetic, there's risk, and there's downtime.
Well, we've heard a couple of stories about those.
And things can go wrong,
yes.
so we're going to talk about that later, how
Yeah,
to be safe.
yeah, that's right.
And then there's the cost. Surgery is usually more expensive. And people are afraid of pain, so it's the pain limitation. So this Ultralight program is great because we now have this new technology, this Ultrashape, which uses painless beams of ultrasound. And every woman's had ultrasound. They've had baby's image, they've had breast image. Ultrasound doesn't hurt.
Right.
We've now this Ultrashape has taken the ultrasound and focused it on the fat cell, made the fat cell the enemy. It vibrates and implodes it in a painless way.
Okay.
Because we used to have to use needles in order to melt fat. So we've taken the needle and say, no, that's still pain, we're going to get rid of that.
That's right.
So our new program, in about it depends how much fat you have, but between 4 and 7 visits, we can melt 4 centimeters pretty consistently in the tummy and the hips with the Ultrashape and the VeloShape.
And you know, that makes all the difference in this pair of jeans.
Yeah, so I tell women this is not
Doesn't it?
liposuction. You're not going to be flat, but if you can grab a hunk of wiggly jiggly stuff you don't like, and it compromises what you can wear, bathing wear or day wear or evening wear, and you want to get less of a roll, then this is definitely a cutting edge opportunity.
Okay, you know, for a lot of us that really work out and we eat clean, as Jim Karras would say, and we do the best, you know, there are those pockets.
There definitely is.
And why is it? The older we get, it's harder for us to get rid of them?
Well, you're absolutely right. There's sort of this genetic area where women just store fat, and for them it's the pot, the hips, the inner thighs, outer thighs, the inner knees, the arms, and the bra line area, what we call the back bacon. And that's very, very back bacon.
Now I know what to call it. I just go, ooh, okay.
Those are tough areas, and they're almost genetically predisposed to stay there. You know, 100,000 years ago, we're chasing woolly mammoths across the tundra. We needed some fat to mobilize to perpetuate the species.
That's right.
Now we've run out of woolly mammoths, but we still have the fat.
Yeah, right.
And so you diet and exercise like crazy, but there's this centripetal area that won't go away, and you can't focally diet. So we need focal treatments like this to take some ultrasound, take that Ultrashape, and just vibrate it and melt it.
So it's shaping.
It's about shaping.
It's about shaping. Like she said, she lost some weight, she exercises, eats properly, but it's not about the inner fat, it's about the outer.
So it's not about dropping 10 or 20 pounds, it's about dropping 2 to 4 centimeters.
Okay, so now no matter what your shape is, you could be a plus size.
Right.
It just it reshapes you in the sense so it takes off, melts away.
It does, and some
that.
of our happier patients are actually full-figured women who are in their plus sizes. They're not all just 4, 6s, and 8s.
Right.
There's 12, 14s, and 16s that would love to have just 2, 3, 4 centimeters.
That's
here
not
or
a
there.
plus size. Those 12, 14.
No, that's
16.
your average shape. Yes, of course. That was European.
Being a member of that club. Just want to make it clear, but you know what I mean.
That was European.
But then, but I mean, no matter after the age of 40,
it gets tough.
Somebody in your office who I love and adore says you get the 40 square.
Right.
You know, just all kind of lands right there.
Yes.
And we talk about
SpongeBob
it.
SquarePants. Right.
SpongeBob SquarePants.
Right.
The head, the great legs, and the square torso. And you, Kathy, you and I talk about all the time, and we eat this, and we've tried this, and we, you know, it's very difficult to do. So it's shaping is everything. Shaping is everything.
Shape. And it's not that you have to be down to your ideal body weight. You need to have a vision of which few centimeters you want to shrink.
Right.
And everybody has problem areas.
Yeah. Guys too? Tell me.
Guys too. For guys, then it's quite the opposite. Usually for guys, it's the double chin, maybe the male breast, and the love handles.
Okay.
It's usually not the thighs. Usually, guys get what I call eggs on legs. You know, you're a big egg on these little sticks. and so
okay, that's good. I feel that's equal time. I like that, yeah. All right, so the cost.
It depends on the number of areas. Generally, it's about $3,000 a zone. The range in the city will be anywhere from...
For the 6-week program?
For the multi-treatment program, which is about half the price of liposuction.
Okay, so let's say we would do it, I would visit once a month and do this?
Yeah,
is that how it happens?
It would be over about a 3-month period, so you don't have to rush in every day. It's about once a month, and then we accelerate it to the end with once a week, the last 4 weeks. So it's 7 visits, between 4 and 7 visits, depending on your kind of fat and how many there are, and about 12-week program.
So in women, we know what that area that we can do. Men?
For men, so for women, bra line, arms,
Okay.
Inner thighs, inner knees, outer thighs, tummy, and hips. And for men, double chin, love handles, and the 50-year-old male breasts.
How long does it last?
Well, like all fat melting techniques, if you guard your weight, it's a long-term correction. Those little fat cells are waiting there to eat more if you're going to feed them. So if your weight consistent, like liposuction, this is a long-term correction because we're melting those fat cells. They go away.
Now, Stephen, for men, because it's here, are you, let's say, can you do it during a weekday and go back into a meeting without any signs of anything
That's the nice thing about it. You do have no downtime. There's a little redness, but a little Toronto turtleneck or pull up your jacket and you're good to go.
And that's good for about like 24 hours. It's a little red.
Yes.
And again, it doesn't hurt. The other thing is, you know, if you're thinking about having this done, if you're a guy and you're thinking about having this done, this could maybe... You might want to have it done for a permanent effect, right? That kind of gives you a showcase of what could be if you're to have surgery.
Right. So a lot of guys come in and they find out it may be 4, 5, or 6 visits. They're not as patient. Then we talk about some of the minimally invasive liposuction procedures for the neck.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. We're going to take a break. That's what we're going to do. Talk more with Dr. Stephen Mulholland right after this. Stay with us. Great. Thank you. All right, Dr. Stephen Mulholland is with us today. We just talked about Ultra Lipolite, and it was interesting because you're saying when you're having the procedure done, you can lay down and just put your iPod on and just let them do their thing, and you walk, put your clothes back on.
It's very relaxing, not very intimidating.
Okay, and again, just to recap, this is for people that do not want to have surgery.
Right, so with the Ultrashape, as you can see, it was a little computer-guided handpiece sitting on your skin with ultrasound going down and treating the fat. Everyone's had ultrasound, you realize there's no pain associated.
Okay.
Now, some people say, that's not enough. I don't want to come 7 times. Give me the best result and I'll assume some risk. Now we're talking liposuction.
And let's talk about liposuction.
That's changed a lot, actually, Marilyn.
Really?
You know, there's now 4 ways to do it. The most common way now, or requested way in my practice, is something called smart lipo, which has got a lot of awareness in the United States, fairly new to Canada. It's putting a little 2-millimeter laser inside the fat and slowly moving around and dissolving the fat. Now, it does require something inside your body, which is why it turns some patients off. But it can be done as an outpatient under local anesthesia, and you can go home right after. So smart lipo's pretty common as well.
Why don't they like it? Because what?
Because you have to make an incision, you have to put some freezing in there, you have to put something into the fat.
Yeah. You got to get in there.
That's creepy for some people.
Yeah.
And they prefer the ultralipolite with nothing invasive.
Okay. So this one is just coming into the country that you're talking about?
I've been doing it now about 8 months.
Okay, and the results are pretty good?
Pretty good, yeah. You still have to have some surgery. There's still a few days of downtime, but it's a huge difference from the, whatever is seen on Nip Tuck where you're, it looks like they have to call Amnesty International for that kind of procedure.
Yeah, right. Different. Okay, now, you said there's 4, so that's 1.
Number 2 would be ultrasound.
Yeah.
So instead of a little laser probe, you can put in an ultrasound probe. So it's like internal Ultrashape. It's an internal ultrasound wand that melts the fat.
And that's downtime a couple days?
That's more downtime because it melts more of the fat. So it's more downtime than the smart lipo, but still gentler than the traditional liposuction. And the very last one is a little power liposuction. You put it in there and this little device goes back and forth and disrupts the fat. That's a little more traumatic, usually for larger areas for multiple site treatments.
Okay. And, a lot of people are very concerned about that.
Of course, safety is always an issue. And every few years we have some tragic event where somebody dies or has a serious complication, and it really brings us back to the reality that this is surgery. All surgery has risks. And I wish I could tell all patients, don't worry, there's no risk. That's not true. The risk should be diminished as low as possible, but it's never zero. And so, patients need to know the right questions to ask, because if you dissect a lot of these cases, most of the risks might have been able to be stripped away had they been just a little more diligent.
In what way, though?
Well, I guess there's, I would say the top 5 things that a patient should ask.
Yeah.
Number 1, if you're having surgery, probably a good idea if your physician's a surgeon.
Yes.
So start with a surgeon. Now,
Yeah.
you can advertise cosmetic surgeon. It does not mean you're a surgeon. There is no
Isn't that
specialty of
amazing?
cosmetic surgery.
Yeah.
So a lot of consumers assume, get on a plane, your pilot's trained. You assume the plane is looked after. The government does regulate that. They've chosen not to regulate the cosmetic surgery industry. So a cosmetic surgeon does not mean they're a plastic surgeon. But you can simply go on the website of the Ontario College of Physicians and Surgeons, look up the doctor's name, and they have to list exactly what they're trained in. So if they're a non-surgeon practicing cosmetic surgery, that's fine. They should just have to disclose that's what I do, but they don't have to.
They don't
so make sure it's a surgeon. Number 2, make sure it's a certified facility. There is an organization in Canada that certifies the office to do surgery. Many offices, in fact, the vast majority aren't. So it's like going on an airplane that's not been looked after by the
With no maintenance.
With no maintenance.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
You would never do that when you're flying a plane. Same
So
with
what are we
surgery.
looking for? What are we looking
So a surgeon that's a surgeon, a facility that's certified, and ask,
okay.
is your facility certified?
Okay.
You want to make sure they use an anesthesiologist. It's like having a co-pilot. You don't want to fly the plane without a co-pilot. So you need an anesthesiologist that's specialized in looking after the physiology while you're looking after
Who's got a certificate?
Right. So do you use an anesthesiologist? And last but not least, do I have the capability to stay overnight and have a real nurse looking after me overnight, so I don't have to manage at home where something could happen? Who's going to look after me?
Okay.
And those 4 or 5 things, plus do your research, ask other patients, ask around. And at the end of the day, when all things are said and done, there's still a risk that you could have a serious complication. So treat it like a serious decision.
That's right, yeah. Yeah, I still have people asking me about my tummy tuck. When did I have that done?
Quite a few years ago.
Yeah, and I still have people, and more than asking about the way it was done is how I felt about it, and it was the downtime from the patient's point of view. So it's always good to ask. I don't mind answering those questions. Let's talk about plastic surgery and just the fact that you are a big proponent of doing a little bit at a time throughout maybe 15, 20 years rather than one big shot. Because sometimes I think we wait too long.
You're absolutely right.
Check out Hollywood. That they get this thing done and they look like a completely different person. And as you said, they look how old up here. And what did you just say to me? They look like 30 up here and 90 down here.
Right.
Yeah.
So a lot of, you see 2 types of patients. They come in, maybe a patient in their early 60s, mid-60s, and they want to do some surgery, and they say, but I don't want to look different. It's pretty hard to be mid-60s and not look different.
Yeah.
It may be different, but it'll be different.
Yeah.
A lot of patients, however, now select to come in maybe in their mid-40s, early 40s, maybe do a little eye tweak or brow tweak, low recovery, low risk, come in the early 50s, maybe another little area, early 60s, another little area. So every decade they're managing one room in the house, so the whole house kind of looks always about the same. And another mistake I see is they always work on the face, leave the body alone. Then they come in their early 60s saying, oh, I look great, I look 49, 50 natural, but I look 90 below the neck. And to do big body surgery when you're older is just not safe because it takes longer.
You're talking about tummy tuck, what else?
Tummy tucks,
lipo?
and breast enhancement and body shaping. And so usually take care of the dust on the body after the kids, because usually you do a tummy tuck, breast or fat shaping once, and if you're diligent about your weight, you're going to look good forever.
The longevity is that's
absolutely.
Right. Yeah,
and then pick away at your face and little areas as they start to bother you. Don't wait for everything to fall apart and then go for the restoration.
That's right. He's honest, I'm telling you. Okay, so what is the cosmetic procedure du jour?
Right now, this time of the year, it's all about the body, and certainly Ultrashape and Smart Lipo would be the 2 most common things I see. Ultimately, in our practice and in our society, the aging face gets a lot of attention now, because a lot of the people are 35 to 55, they're growing older, and it's hard to put clothing on your face in our culture.
That's right, that's very true. Okay, now the other thing too is you are a big proponent of, get the weight to where you want it if you're going to have major surgery. Get the weight to where you want to be. And also, before you do anything on your face, you also say, make sure your skin is in great condition. That's why you have other procedures too.
Yeah, a lot of patients come into my practice after 3 or 4 years of photofacials and Botox and soft tissue fillers.
Photofacials are those that take out what? The irregularities
even out your color, browns and reds.
The red little marks you get under your nose, all those
skin
things.
tightening like Reform and Thermage.
Yeah.
And so I see some very healthy skin wanting to lift it.
Yeah.
Then I see some skin that's got all the problems and it's droopy, and we offer us a program for the skin and the face.
Yeah.
You don't want to have bad skin lifted. It looks like bad skin in a nice position.
So you have to kind of do that before you do the next thing. Okay, well, there you go. Thank you. Let's thank Dr. Steve Mulholland because it's great information. Never one to hide behind anything, that's for sure. So investigate the ultra light too. We have to take a break. Thanks for your time. We'll be right back. More Makeover Madness when we return.
It's Tuesday, June 21st, from our E-Talk newsroom in the heart of downtown Toronto with host Tanya Kim. E-Talk begins right now.
Up next, no pain, all gain for the beach season. Yesterday, we kicked off Bikini Week, oh yay, with Bethany Frankel and her Skinny Girl Secrets.
Now we turn to a celebrity plastic surgeon to learn about how to zap the fat without going under the knife.
What can people do now at this point to get the look they want?
What you need to look at is your actual fatty cells. That layer in between that's a little bit thick, it's gotten thicker over the winter, and how we can treat that effectively, safely, and with minimal downtime.
Right, and it's not too late right now.
Not at all, not at all.
Goodness.
You're looking between 2 and 4 weeks for a combination of treatments to make a significant change in the appearance mainly of the hips, the abdomen, and the bra line area around the sides.
With a price tag of $2,000 to $8,000, Dr. Crashton recommends a body contouring program to lose the fat.
The first step that I would start with the program is a new machine called the Ultrashape 3. The new Ultrashape device focuses on the superficial